Well, I think we're live.
There's no rush. It's just
Let's have a little look. Refresh Facebook.
Yeah.
It's looking good. We're both here.
Okay. All right, it's live now. It's there. Okay. So I'm going to share that out. Anybody listening is just in the throes of sharing. This minute. So share and share.
And then do the same as well.
Get this set up. Okay, so that's shared to my timeline.
Okay, and this.
Okay, so that's gone.
Right.
And share to page I own. Okay, so that's better not put it there. I'm going to put Steve on top. And comment.
All right, I've done to my timeline, and I'll do to raw chocolate lovers.
Okay. We're just setting up. This is our first time ever to go out to Facebook Live with the RawChocTV show, and just waiting for Dan to do his sharing, and then we'll be good to go. If you want to join us live, just press the link that's in the post on Facebook, and it's on my timeline, it's on Dan's timeline, it's on RawChocTV, it's in the RawChoc group. If you click any of those, then it'll bring you through to this screen, and you'll be able to see us live on there and see what it looks like live. You can join in and perhaps later come on camera and type in questions for Dan. How are you doing?
Evening, Stephen. Well, this is a new experience on going live into Facebook. So yeah, so far so good. And yeah, what a wonderful autumn we're having. Early autumn. Is this what they call it? Indian summer?
Indian summer. Yeah, I mean, I mean, yesterday we were both talking about the thunder and lightning and all the sun being down in Brighton, and now today it's arrived here, and it sort of changes your outlook, doesn't it, when the sun shines?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go out from there.
Yeah, it seems to be quite clammy today, but there we go. I'm sure, no doubt, sooner or later we'll have a cold snap and we'll forget that we were ever in shorts.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Right. Okay.
Okay. So episode 4 of RawChocTV. That means that's a quarter of a year been and gone, and flying into the next quarter. So that's a milestone in itself, I think.
Our journey began on Blab, and then on Fire Talk, and now we're live on Facebook. So
absolutely, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting as well is it shows the evolution of the technology and sort of how it's changing all the time, and so we're almost having to keep up with it. So
that's true, and there's virtually something new every week. I mean, Facebook Live from the desktop is due to come out. Lots of tech around, and I quite like Smile Time. In fact, I enjoy being on Smile Time because you can broadcast direct to Facebook Live, and you can get involved. If you want to get involved, as I said earlier, just come to the link that's on the Facebook Live on Facebook and join us here. Hey, ready to start the show? Shall we start?
Absolutely. Yep. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of RawChoc Live. RawChoc Live, RawChoc.tv, live on Facebook. So welcome. Hope everyone's had a good evening, good start to the evening, good day. And so what are we going to talk about today? We haven't got a guest as such.
Okay. Well, normally we start off with a topic on raw chocolate, and I noticed today that you sent me a link to the history of raw chocolate and 7 surprising facts from its beginnings, because we all know that we enjoy raw chocolate, but we need to know who else has enjoyed it and for how long. So how did raw chocolate first become popular and where?
Well, its history goes back something like 3,500 years. The exact date obviously isn't quite known, but it's around 1500 BC, something like that, to a civilization known as the Olmecs. And they're famous for great big round stone carvings of heads. That's sort of the typical Olmec head. I should have had a picture to bring up here, but I didn't even think of that. And they're believed to be the first people to start cultivating cacao, start using cacao in sort of ceremonially mainly, and it was sort of consumed as a drink in ceremonies. And so it was sort of the upper echelons of society, the sort of the priests, the kings, and their courts, who had access to cacao because it was sort of quite a scarce commodity as far as something that was utilized by man. So that goes back sort of a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we associate the Aztecs with chocolate, don't we? I mean, that's the popular folklore.
Absolutely. And I suppose also Mayan, because you get sort of like Mayan gold and things like that. It's so that both Aztecs and Mayans sort of used sort of as sort of references in a way, but I think Aztecs are the ones who sort of very much sort of captured the imagination because they're the ones who were around when the Spanish conquistadors went through and discovered, as they like to claim, the Americas, because obviously there was no one in the Americas before, except, well, there were.
Yes.
But yeah, so the Mayans and then latterly the Aztec civilizations, they followed on from the Olmecs, and they continued the tradition and the use of cacao in ceremonies and in rituals. They made a drink, but it wasn't anything like a hot chocolate that we associate because they didn't have sugar, but it would be it would be very bitter, but it would be spiced with all sorts of things, sort of chili, pepper, vanilla, all sorts of different sort of quite rich, fragrant spices, and that would sort of they'd make a brew up like that. Sometimes some would have it hot, some would have it cold, and there are ancient pictures of it being sort of poured through from jug to jug to sort of build up a froth in it to make it almost like a frothy drink. But yeah, like I say, it was very much the preserve of the elites originally. So and then
there is in fact, I'm going back to the article. There is in fact it's a gift from God. Now I'm going to try and say his name as to which god, and I'm going to get this wrong, but Quetzalcoatl.
I believe it's Quetzalcoatl, but
there you go. I've learned something.
But that might not even be the correct pronunciation, which is it was a god, because they had many gods. It was one that was depicted as a sort of feathered serpent. There's a lot of carvings of, as there are of many of the gods, from sort of Aztec and Mesoamerica, as that area is called. He's believed to have brought it down to the earthly realms for humans, and he was a god of all things good, really. So health and love and sex and food. So the sort of god you'd kind of like to have around, I think.
Yeah, especially at harvest time, to make sure that you have rich crops. Now, this one surprised me. I mean, raw chocolate comes from cacao, and that cacao was used as currency.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was developed in the times of sort of the Maya and the Aztecs. The beans were used as currency, but much as modern day currency, you couldn't buy the beans in the way that you can't buy money now. But the beans were used, and there's I think it was sort of one bean would buy an avocado, and 10 beans for a rabbit, and then I think a slave was 100 beans, and all the way through. So it was, and Yeah, it's and in a way, if you think about it, it's quite a good currency because it doesn't last indefinitely the way, say, gold or silver does. It has a finite life, so you can't hoard it. So to me, it would suggest that you could it would keep the flow of currency and money moving, but I'm not sure that's necessarily the way it worked back in the time. But it certainly seems like it could be a good currency compared to what we use today. But yeah, it was used very much as a currency. And when sort of the Aztecs sort of conquered other lands, other peoples, they had to pay their tributes to the Aztecs in cacao beans, which would have been an interesting thing. So if it was something that they didn't particularly use, then having to go out and find cacao beans, maybe.
Right. Okay. Now, we're often told how many cups of coffee and tea we should have a day, health-wise. But on chocolate, we're not actually told. Now, Montezuma, did he drink a lot of coffee?
I don't know about coffee, but he certainly drank a lot of chocolate from all the reports. It was Hernan Cortez was the conquistador that first had contact with Montezuma. He was the emperor of the Aztecs at the time of the coming together, when they were discovered, supposedly. And he is reputed to have been a very big fan of chocolate and drinking sort of anywhere up to 50 cups of chocolate out of golden cutlets or golden goblets. And he would he's also reputed to use it before then going visiting his harem. And they do say it is a bit of an aphrodisiac. And he was very much from the reports that he provided it for his court, his household, and what have you, and they consumed a lot. But it wasn't for so much for general consumption; it was much more the elites as it was in earlier times.
There's a phrase that we've all heard of, and the origins of it, and that phrase is "death by chocolate."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's obviously. It's used, that phrase is used as product names and names of desserts and things like that when you use something that is just super loaded with chocolate. But it's there's kind of a bit of a dark side to chocolate, to cacao, and that going back to around the 17th century in Mexico, there was a bishop who is rumored to have had a falling out with some of the women in his constituency, I guess is the word, and he wasn't keen on them drinking their chocolate beverage during mass. So one of the women poisoned his drink and killed him. So quite literally death by chocolate. But there are rumours of poisoned chocolate killing off a pope, Pope Clement XIV, is rumoured to be sort of done. And then in the late 1800s, there was a woman called Christiana Edmonds who was poisoning chocolate, getting chocolate from shops, poisoning it, lacing it with strychnine, of all things, and then taking it back to the shops where it would be resold, and then it was causing people to be ill, and one young person died. And then back in, I think it was about 2006, there was someone in the UK who killed his parents with a poisoned mousse, chocolate mousse. So a very long history of death by chocolate.
Okay, I'm glad that you're doing most of the talking. I've just been told by Bob that my volume is down, so I'm going to speak a bit more loudly. So hopefully I'm not shouting again. Right, now, we finish our tour of chocolate. And what's the connection between chocolate and nuts?
Well, they go really well together. I think it's whether it's a chocolate dipped hazelnut or whatever, or a fruit and nut. But chocolate manufacturers are one of the biggest users of nuts in the world. It's somewhere around 20% of the world's peanuts go to chocolate, and around 40% of the world's almonds. So that's a hell of a lot of nuts.
So it is. I mean, that's part of a healthy diet, isn't it? All those nuts and almonds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, particularly if the nuts haven't been roasted, again, like the cacao, really, the nuts aren't roasted, then you've still got more of the nutrients in there, and you're not destroying those. But yeah, I mean, for example, Brazil nuts. People love chocolate-covered Brazils. Brazil nuts are really high in selenium, which is essential for brain health. So yeah, nuts, although people say, oh, they're loaded with fat, yes, it's good fats and loads of nutrients. The typical theme that when it comes to raw chocolate and these sorts of things is, yes, they may have fats in, but they're a good type of fats, and it's a really high nutrient profile. So yeah, a really long sort of connection with nuts and chocolate.
Yeah.
So,
okay, now, where is cacao grown? Where around the world? And
okay. Why? I think why, because it's a great plant and it makes amazing things like chocolate. But it grows either side of the equator, 20 degrees north and south of the equator, that band. So it started off in Central America, sort of Mexico, Ecuador, those sorts of areas, has been transported around the world, around that band. So through Indonesia, Java, places like that. And then the bulk of it these days is something like 80% of the world's cacao is grown in North Africa. But yeah, so it's that band. So it's a hot, humid, sort of kind of wet climate, but really hot, humid climate. And the trees don't like being out in the sun, exposed to the sun. So it's an under canopy tree. So they sort of grow sort of 20, 25 feet tall. And they're underneath the bigger trees in what's typically would be called a forest garden. And it's the same sort of band that vanilla grows as well, funnily enough. And chocolate and vanilla go very well together, of course.
Where does the chocolate you use come from? The cacao that you use come from?
We've got a supply of Ecuadorian Riba, which is from sort of Central America. We're actually talking to our supplier at the moment possibly about a new supply. We're waiting for some samples to come from them, funny enough. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have some samples, which will actually be, if we do switch over to that, it'll be Peruvian. So a little bit further south. But again, Peru has a lot of cacao that it's grown in. And then there's also some in barley that we've played around with before, and I'm sort of talking to a supplier there about possibly sort of stocking that as well. So we might actually have a bit of a range.
Okay, so do they have different qualities because they've been grown in different areas?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they're influenced by the soils, the climate. The variations in climate will affect it, and what sort of crossbreeding has happened. But I think we talked before about the different types: the Criollo, the Forastero, and the Trinidad. The Ecuadorian we're using at the moment is kind of a subtype of the Criollo and the Riba Nacional. The Peruvian and the Balinese that we're looking into are both pure sort of Criollo beans, Criollo cacao. So again, very sort of complex, deep flavor profiles to them. So yeah, but yeah, the Balinese can be really quite strong, we often find, and Peruvian, again, the better Peruvian has a similar sort of smooth flavor that you get with the Ecuadorian. So yeah, it does vary quite a bit.
Okay, now we're not only on Facebook Live, but we're actually, because Barb's here with us, thank you, Bob, we're actually on Barb's television. So this is our first ever appearance on television. Looking good. There you go. Right, now, the usual format of the shows is that next in line comes a recipe. So over to you, Dan, for this week's recipe. Now, the thing is, if you take yourself off screen, we can't hear you. Okay, so you need to bring yourself back on screen.
There we go.
And then we'll be able to hear what you're saying.
Right.
The way to do that is to dismiss that. Welcome back.
Hello. So one of the drawbacks of Smile Time is that we can't play videos on there, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm sure they will sort that out. I'm confident they will. But the recipe we've got this month is an easy raw chocolate sauce recipe. There is one on our website, which I did about 3 years ago. And it's a little bit complicated, and it's great. Makes a really good chocolate sauce, don't get me wrong. But it's a bit more complicated. This new recipe is, very, very tasty, very, very simple to make. It's just 3 ingredients, 4 if you include some vanilla powder, and you just mix it in a bowl and you've got a sauce in a couple of minutes. The video will be posted onto our Facebook page. As soon as we go off air, I will hit publish, and it will be available. And then the recipe will be on the website later on this evening. So it's a fantastic, simple thing. Great on chopped fruit, as you can see in the picture there, or ice cream, or any way you want to use chocolate sauce. And who wouldn't want to use chocolate sauce?
I'd like some now, please. The photo, it looks delicious. It really does. As you say, the recipe is going to be available on YouTube after the show, and also you can put a link in the group as well. And
yeah, absolutely. It'll be on our Facebook page. It'll be on everywhere.
Yeah. Well, as we expand into Facebook, we've got all these places to look after.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So we've got a recipe now. Also every week. RawChocTV, every month, sorry, RawChocTV has a competition.
It does indeed.
What's this week's competition?
This week's competition is to tie in with the fact that yesterday was Roald Dahl Day, and if anybody doesn't know who Roald Dahl is, well, I can't believe there is, but if there is anybody who doesn't know who Roald Dahl is, he wrote an amazing set of books, supposedly aimed at children, but I think it's safe to say they are brilliant reads for anyone. And one of them is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, in fact, I even have a copy of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory here, and I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But to celebrate Roald Dahl Day yesterday, which was celebrating his 100th birth, 100 years since he was born, he's unfortunately no longer with us, we're giving away 7 raw chocolate making kits.
Excellent.
And so basically you can have your own chocolate factory. You have everything you need to make raw chocolate and to start your own raw chocolate venture. If you already enjoy making raw chocolate, then, well, you can give one as a gift to someone. But it's free to enter. Go to RawChoc.tv/EO4comp, and I will put the link in the page in a minute, and it'll be on our Facebook page and our thing. All you got to do is stick in your name and your email address as usual, and you stand a chance of winning one of 7 kits. It is for UK entrant. Well, I can only post them to UK addresses, unfortunately. One of these days postage rates will come down, but at the moment that's the limitation. But yes, closing date is midnight Sunday the 26th of September.
Excellent. Okay, no, obviously I can't enter, but I'd love to. But I can actually say, without a doubt, that the chocolate is easy to make. The kits come with full instructions. Follow those, and at the end of the day, you'll have your own chocolates to enjoy. So as Danny's confirming that, 1 of 7 raw chocolate kits could be yours by entering the competition. The link will be here on this page, and it will also be on YouTube. Sorry, Dan, back to the book.
That's all right. No problem. So, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's always weird having to move your arm in the opposite direction to the camera. So, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a fantastic book written by a fantastic man, a brilliant author. I actually have 2 copies of this, unused as well. They're new copies, and I'm going to give them away free. And I will send these anywhere in the world.
Okay.
And all you've got to do is add a comment to our live stream on Facebook. On our Facebook page, add a comment in why you think you should get a copy of Raw Chocolate, of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and tag a friend that you think would enjoy a copy as well. So,
yep, brilliant idea. One of us is frozen. I'm hoping you come back in a second. Dan, we'll
pick some winners.
Brilliant. So 2 competitions in one show.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is a spot competition. It's going to run for probably another 5 or 10 minutes while we're broadcasting. Or if there's any comments, in fact, the video will say there. So any comments before midnight tonight. There you go. Okay. So you've got a bit of time, folks.
Right. All good. Right. If anybody's who's watching logged in and has got questions, because the one thing we can't do is if you don't type your name in the box at the bottom where it says express yourself, we can't see who's watching the show on Smile Time. And I think our apologies if we're not responding on Facebook. We get practice in this. You were going to have a word with someone, weren't you, Dan, about monitoring the Facebook page? He's gone again. He's experimenting. I'm on stage and on my own, and Dan is on his way back. And I have a feeling that
I should be there now. Am I there?
Well, hopefully. Normal service will be resumed in a moment, especially if you're watching on the TV. This show is a monthly show, which Dan, I'm just waffling, don't worry about it. This show is a monthly show, which Dan and I have now been running together for several months. We quite enjoy the show, as you can tell. We enjoy nattering and talking about raw chocolate. And this week, there are 2 competitions for people to enter.
Absolutely. Am I back on screen? Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're back. Excellent. And I can see you. Yep. Yeah.
I've got to remember not to knock myself off the screen. So yes, the competition link is posted in the Smile Time, and I'll post it to Facebook in a minute. And like I say, the competition for winning 2 copies of that is literally add a comment onto this video in Facebook about why you'd like a copy and a friend who would like a copy, in your opinion. And you have until midnight for that one. And the main competition, where you can win a chocolate kit, runs until midnight, September the 26th. Next episode, Wednesday, 12th of October. So,
yep,
a month's time. And all being well, we'll be live in Facebook again. But who knows? Technology changes so quickly.
Well, I mean, the thing about this platform, just talk about platform for a moment, I don't see it going anywhere. As Bob will attest, the people running this are ex-Hulu, H-U-L-U, in case I didn't pronounce the H. So it has a good pedigree, it has good backing, and they know where they're going. Because they keep making improvements. The next thing to come along, which could be interesting, is that they're going to have community. So you'd attach a community to your channel.
Okay. Yep.
So you could have attached to this a RawChoc.tv community.
Okay. That will be interesting to see how
possible way of bringing people in.
Cool.
Looking forward, there's lots of things they're doing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's been a good show.
Indeed, I think it has. Am I going to go back half screen again, or are you going to?
There we go. Learning as we go along.
Just move me up a bit. That's it.
There we go.
I'm in the driving seat now. Now today's show. The beauty of this platform is that you can change the format, as Dan's been doing expertly tonight, and you can bring slides on and have a good discussion, an illustrated discussion. And I would, along with Dan, hope that they do enable the playing of YouTube videos, because that would be the cream, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Just to be able to drop a video in, that would have been perfect to be able to do that, but not this time. But at this rate, it will be next month. So who knows? So
indeed.
Anyway, well, I think that's been a great show. Feels short and sweet this evening.
Yeah. What this is, there was a missing ingredient. Talking about recipes, there's a missing ingredient. The reason we're a bit shorter is because we've no guest tonight.
Yes.
Now we've sustained the platform. What you need to do, or what should be done, or could be done for October the 12th, is to find a guest. Well,
I've got one in the pipeline. So all been well.
Yes.
All been well. I decided to sort of delay them for this month because we were using a new platform. So anyway, thanks, Stephen. Great talking to you as always. Thanks, Barb, for your comments and input and help. And to anyone else who's been watching, whether it's on Smile Time or live on Facebook, yeah, we'll be back on the 12th of October for episode 5 of RawChoc.tv. Until then, goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.